Unscripted.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of PD and PDubs Unscripted. PDubs, good to be with you.
Oh, always great to be with you, PD, on this beautiful Wednesday. No, it's a Thursday.
It's a Thursday when we're recording.
You know, that's the thing. The days fly by, but it's a beautiful day outside and a little windy. But man, I'm holding on to every good weather day.
Me too. And I'm sure the person, our special guest, if you're watching, you can see we have a special guest. We got Nick, our church mailman here joining us.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good.
Great to have you, Nick.
Great to be here, guys.
Yeah, Nick is a regular in our office for our viewers and listeners. And he just has started to listen to our podcast and loves it. And we started thinking about, like, you know how we talk about like community connections and things like that? I couldn't think of a better guy or person who is connected to our community. And so that we're so thankful that you're here.
The Nick the mailman, right?
Nick the mailman.
Nick the mailman.
Yeah, he's not like Newman the mailman.
No, nobody would go like, no, that Nick.
No, I'm not. I'm not an angry guy. I'm very positive. I like to spread positivity all around. I really promote that, and I think that's a really good thing for a letter carrier to have is positivity, because we see all walks of life every single day, and we come in contact with everybody. We come into your house. We see your family members, your dogs, children. So I really think being a positive, I mean, even a role model in the community is a sense of being a letter carrier.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, we see that in our own office. When you come in, I mean, it could be maybe a rough day and you light up the spirit of our office ladies.
Oh, man, they are just happy every time you come in. It's like you just inject energy, and it's really awesome.
Good. That's like family, man. Those ladies, I've known them for quite some time, and I've seen, Cheryl and Lisa with their retirements. And the same with the people on my route. When they leave or they move, it does kind of hurt, because I've built relationships and friendships with those people. So
yeah, for sure.
I got a quick question. I noticed on your sleeve it says "Happy Birthday." Is it your birthday or something?
No, it's not my birthday. It's just one of those shirts. You're like, man, do I wear it or last shirt?
Okay,
last shirt. Need to do laundry, guys.
I was just like, man, they have "Happy Birthday" on this shirt.
I know. I was like wondering the same thing, and we're just, if we need to say "Happy Birthday," we're all for it.
Right.
So.
I'll take it.
Happy early or late birthday for whatever it is.
Yeah.
December 22nd.
Oh, right around Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas baby.
So
Christmas baby.
Nice.
Yes.
Very good.
So I mean, anything you want to share about yourself to let our audience get to know you a little bit before we dive in?
Well, my name's Nicholas Trost. I've just recently moved back to Palatine from McHenry. Married my wife from the Palatine post office. We met there.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
This will be our 5th year married.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. I've been on Route 62, which is the route that the church is on. I've been on there for about 6.5 years now.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's almost as long as I've been here. I've been a Emmanuel going on 8 years.
Oh, wow. So we're almost at the same
time here.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I really love being a mailman. I like the sense of community that I bring to all my customers, and the relationships really mean a lot to me. Coming and going from different holidays and seeing the other people's family come in and actually get to meet them, because the relationships that I share with these people are really deep. Yeah, and I never thought being a letter carrier that you could connect to your customers so deep, because all the other jobs that I've ever had, it hasn't been where you connect to people like that. It's like a high and by. But here I'm here 6 days a week, sometimes 10, 12 hours a day, and I try to find the best in the job. So again, the whole positivity thing, I really promote that.
Yeah, I mean, that's totally apparent by like what we were saying, like you just really inject positivity into when you come into a room. I mean, it's really noticeable. So like, I just want to like say what you're endeavoring to do, it's working.
Good.
So like, just in our little circle here. And so that's what our world needs, right? Is just this, there is so much negativity that everybody is bombarded with in our daily lives that for each of us, in wherever we're at, to share a smile, a greeting, a hello, how are you doing? And that takes it to the next level of like, I'm interested in you, and the first few times someone might say, I'm doing good. But you being like there every day, like, after a while, people are going to go, he keeps asking me how I'm doing. So maybe I'll open up a little.
Yup. And that's kind of the aspect I do, because this has come from years of this, not just being a letter carrier, but also working on myself, because as the world comes, we see so much negativity and so much harm in it. And I feel just a little taste of positivity goes such a long way. Even just asking, hey, how's your day?
Right.
That means a lot to people, because not a lot of people ask that.
And like you said, you see the same people each and every day on Route 62, you said, right?
Route 62.
So where does that all take you throughout Palatine?
So I do Colfax. I do most of North Bothwell, the 100 and 300 block. And then I go to Hale. I do Plum Grove. And then I cross the street. I do Hawk, Benton, Wren, Heron. And then, and the Comfort and Robertson.
Oh, okay.
And that's about my route. Mainly it's right here downtown. Okay. But I do across the street.
Okay.
Do you count your steps a day?
Like clockwork. 13 and a half miles, 33,852 steps a day.
Wow, dude.
So you're doing a half marathon every day.
Every day, yes.
Wow, that's incredible.
I love it.
No wonder you're so fit and lean. I mean,
great exercise. Man. Great exercise.
And like, how heavy is your bag that you're carrying?
Well, technically speaking, per our contract, a lot of our job is due to a contract. We're supposed to follow that closely. But I'm more of a serviceman, so I do it based on how I can service the community. Oh. My satchel usually gets around 35 to 40 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's a lot of mail, because we carry the mail and the packages in there. The little ones, not the boxes and stuff.
Especially like coming winter time, what's coming up. I know we've talked about that when you're in the office, and you were talking yesterday, I think, when we were kind of finalizing details for today, like the outfits you got to wear, your big long like parka,
my snow pants, my big winter coat, and not only that, is another aspect of the job is being prepared.
Yeah.
Because you never know with Chicago weather, it can change in an instant. One day, one hour it's sunny, the next hour it's downpouring snow. You have a blizzard.
Right.
So you have to be prepared for that at any given moment.
Wow. Yeah. Well, we have a mail carrier in our congregation. He's a tall guy, taller than me, and he's still pretty thin.
Yeah, I think like 6'7".
Yeah, and he's been doing the job for many, many years. I don't know how many.
Okay.
But is he up for like a knee surgery or
hip?
So it's like, there's the wear and tear of the job, right?
Definitely.
Over the course of many years.
And that's another thing that I try to pride myself on as well, is taking care of my body. That's a big problem that I see at our office. A lot of people are just on the daily grind of doing the job day after day. And like I said, there's been times I've worked a month straight.
Right.
And there's only one day a week that I'm getting 8 hours, and that's a Sunday.
Wow.
That's packages. So, I mean, it's just, you got to take care of yourself. You got to know the right things to eat. You can't fill your body full of junk. Got to eat good, nutritional stuff.
Yeah.
Because do you have snacks or stuff in the truck with you?
All fruit.
All fruit.
All
Good
fruit. For you,
yeah.
man. Way to go.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's come after a time. There was a time where I'm eating Ho-Hos, Ding Dongs, Twinkies.
That's along my order, I think.
Yeah.
I was going to say Snickers. That's your favorite.
Yeah.
Snickers are good.
They're all right. Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, that's really what we often talk about as pastors to our folks is like, we want to be a light into our community, and, you say inject positivity. And so like, that's really what it is about, to share the love of our Lord with others.
Yup.
And it's not just always what you say or some script about how to know Jesus, but by our actions, by how we come alongside someone and listen and care and be a part of their lives.
Correct.
And so like, that's when PD was saying that you were so stoked about our podcast.
Oh yeah.
And that you wanted to come in, and I said, I don't know what we'll talk about. And then you came in that day, and then it just hit me like, you are a living example of connecting with people. I just look at you as a connector into our community, and you're bringing positivity, And, it's really kind of fulfilling what we're always encouraging our folks to do. So like, yeah, this is your job, but obviously this is who you are, how you're wired.
I take this serious. I mean, like you guys said, it's also the actions that prove more than just the words. You can talk a good talk, but are you walking the walk?
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if you're crabby out there, you're because like PDubs was saying, you were talking about the different people on the route that the different things you need to do, or if they're not there, who to give the mail to.
Yep. And that's again taking care of my people, my community. I really pride myself on that because you never know what's in a package or you never know what's in a letter.
Yeah.
Grandma always sends good stuff in a letter.
Right.
Or she may send
a package.
Yeah. So I try to make sure, one, it's delivered correctly to who it needs to go to, and two, it's in a safe and secure location.
Right, not pulling the Ace Ventura, kicking the package all around.
Oh, man. So that's incredible. Like 13 and a half miles, he said, walking every single day. And so it sounds like you're working 6 days a week, you said?
Right now, yeah. Right now we're coming up to our busy season with Christmas and everything. And I see the packages were wild.
Yeah.
So I can just imagine what's coming up next.
Yeah.
The letters are to come. Christmas cards and there's a lot of birthdays too. Mine.
Right. Nick's just trying to remind all those on the route here what's coming up on December 22nd.
December 22nd, guys.
Yeah, all right. And we were kind of talking about like how people see you, out in the community, not with your uniform on, and like how they don't recognize you.
And that's the craziest thing with my long hair, the beard. I'm a very loud person. I have a very loud voice, so I would think that would instantly catch you on, but I could look people dead in the eyes and they don't recognize me. And it's like, wow, is it really that much different with the uniform on? Does that blue just project me?
Right.
Well, I think it is because they're seeing you practically every day in that, in that look.
Outfit.
Yeah.
Similar outfit.
Okay.
Yeah. And the same with us pastors. Like, I know PD has some stories there, but I'll never forget the one time I was in the Jewel and shopping. I live in Algonquin, but I was shopping in the Palatine Jewel. And it was, I don't even know, it must have been late in the afternoon or something. And there was a little student from our school. And he was with his mom. And I'm like, oh, hey, how are you? And he looks up and he goes, hey.
Stranger danger.
Yeah. And he's like, I could see it processing. He goes, you come here too? I'm like, yeah, I come here because, I need to shop for things just like you and your mom are.
Yep.
Oh, I always thought you were just at the church, and so like the innocence of a child, but it does the same with adults.
Well, even
too.
like, I think of it sometimes of being at a church event that's not like a worship and I have a baseball hat on. And people are like, oh, I didn't recognize you because you had a baseball hat on.
Yep.
Right.
I'm like, well, honestly, a lot of times outside of this place when I'm not working, I have a baseball hat on because I'm lazy. I don't have to do anything with my hair. Just put a hat on and I'm good to go.
Yeah.
But PD, you got such beautiful hair, man. Look at that.
It doesn't have a nice flow like yours.
Well, just wait a couple years. It'll get there.
Yeah, I don't know. See, I like it high and tight. Like when it gets a little shaggy, I'm like, it's getting a little long.
A little long, yeah.
Yeah. And, well, it just happened to me a couple of weeks ago. I was leading a funeral here, and people were coming out, and this one guy comes out with his wife, and, he's like, oh, very nice service, Pastor, thank you. And I'm shaking his hand, and I'm looking at him like, oh, man, he looks familiar. And, I see a lot of people, over the weekends or even during the week. And so your mind is racing. Like,
racing.
All right.
Them gears are turning.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so I could tell by the way he was looking at me, he was kind of tilting his head like I think he was thinking the same thing. And so he introduced me to his wife and said how he was related to another person. And I said, I really feel like I know you.
Okay.
And he goes, I was thinking the same thing. And so he starts getting ready to ask a question, and then it hit me. I'm like, you're Mark from the mechanic place in Algonquin where I take my car sometimes. He's like, yeah, you bring in the Buick. I'm like, and so it was a total example of, he was out of his element, but in mine.
Yep.
But he always sees me out of my normal daily life in his. But then it was like, of course it's you, you know?
Yep.
So I think there has something to do with like not only what we wear, but where people see us. Yeah, the context.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good word.
I know you brought up too, and maybe you've had this experience, Nick, like sometimes it makes you more mindful because of what you do, like how you respond to something.
Yes.
Because you might want to be more aggressive or angry, but then you're like, oh, this person might know me from this, and it might change their perspective.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big thing here in Palatine because I live here in Palatine.
Right.
So anytime I go to like Walmart or a store, honestly, my head's on a swivel because I'm looking for people I know. Because I know anytime I go somewhere, even my wife says, every time we go somewhere, you know everyone. Well, I'm a talker. I like to talk. So even when I'm on other routes, I treat the people on other routes the same respect that I give my customers because it's not their fault that either the carrier's sick, vacation, or whatever the case may be that's going on in that carrier's life. I'm just there to replace them. I'm not there to make a bad impression. I want to make a good impression. And you could tell from a lot of carriers that are on their routes a long time, it's the waving. A lot of people that are on the route, they wave. And you can usually tell if that's a good carrier or not, because when you get on some of these routes and you start waving to people, you're like, hey, how's it going? And they don't wave back. It's kind of like, oh, okay. You kind of get that sense of this is what the carrier is on out here. So
Yeah.
Well,
that's really great. And so I guess I'm kind of interested in like, you can't like tell specific stories, but has there been a particular moment or interaction that really struck you and stuck with you? Like, wow, I really feel like I was part of something really good here, like a conversation, or I helped someone
Like uplift their day
when they were down, that kind of thing. I know you just have a lot of them probably.
honestly, and I'm not trying to tell, there are a lot of instances where it's just a spur of the moment type thing. Right now, honestly, right when I got off of my route, there's a lady on Ren going through hardships in her life.
Okay.
Lost a job, helping out the mother. She needs some help around the house. So she asked me, hey, Nick, do you do handyman work?
Oh, wow.
I said, sure. When I come off of work, I'd be more than willing to help you. Sure.
Yeah,
So she's like, I'll give you a list and we can come to an agreement of what's what.
Sure.
And I try to do that for everyone because there's a lot of people out there that live alone, grandmothers, and I do check on them quite a bit. Ring the doorbell, knock if they haven't gotten their mail in 2 or 3 days, ring it, hey, what's going on? Kind of just check in with them. So
that's really awesome.
Yeah.
Because I mean, a lot of times, you hear good stories about like neighbors who, I was just talking to someone last Saturday. I hate to have my context as funerals, but it was a luncheon at a funeral. And I've been doing a lot of them lately, unfortunately. And it was a guy that I grew up with. He's a member of our church. And I say, hey, how's it going? And he goes, oh, I have wonderful neighbors. They are always looking out for me. They're always checking in on me. Like if they don't see me outside in the yard or whatever, they'll like do what you just said. They'll like knock on his door, just check in. Hey, how are you doing? Anything we can do? And he's like, the one neighbor, he always shovels my sidewalk, and it's all that good neighborly stuff, right? But not everybody is blessed with that, right? Like sometimes neighbors just don't have that connection, even though they are around one another every day. And that's the sad part of our society. So sometimes is like, especially maybe in the winter, it's like people come home, they roll up their garage door and they park right in, close it in the house.
Yep.
And there's, when I grew up, like it seemed like neighbors were out waving, checking
all the time,
in, having conversations at the end of the driveway or on the sidewalk. And I'm speaking generally, right? I see examples of that in my neighborhood, but then I also see pockets where it's just that, there's no interaction. And so I think like, that's why I'm so like encouraged by the interaction that you do, because you're kind of keeping an intentional eye out for maybe people who don't have neighbors who look out for them.
Oh, yeah. Big time. I mean, you kind of notice that too when you create these relationships with your customers. They open up. like a book. And they let you know, hey, this is going on in my life or that's going on in my life. I'm almost like a therapist, a door-to-door bill giver and therapist, you know?
They probably don't like the bill giver aspect.
No, they definitely don't like the bills. But I mean, I'm here for everyone. I mean, even if you're not on my route, just to unleash, sometimes people need that. They need to unleash. They need to let out the stress because they've bottled it up and they don't want to talk to their parents or their significant other. They want to talk to somebody that they may never see again. I'm going to unleash on you, and then that's it.
Yeah.
But you have to learn to not carry that stress on you.
See, there you go.
That's what it is.
That would be easy to, I mean, you're already carrying a load, right?
Yeah.
35-pound load. And the weight of everyone's stresses, if you make it your own.
Correct.
That's an even greater weight, you know, and I mean, that's the danger. Even we feel that as pastors,
of
right?
course,
like,
yeah.
And sometimes you just feel so compassionate for someone that you take it on, and that's a big art. Like,
it is,
you know, to receive it but not hold it
in
and make it your own, right? Like, or to be weighed down by others' issues,
or let it constantly run in your head, because sometimes when people unleash those things, and sometimes it could be really dark.
Yeah,
some people go to really dark places, and you can't let that sit in your head. You kind of gotta either give them some advice or encouragement.
Right. So not only do you have the physical burdens of all the walking, carrying that, but you also then carry the emotional burdens of your customers, and that's what I'm learning to appreciate, you know, through this conversation. How you're not just viewing this as your job, clocking in, doing your 9 to 5, so to speak, but how you're like, this is my mission, this is my purpose,
yes,
and how much you truly care about what you're doing. It's not just a job to pay the bills.
Well, I'm not going to lie, pastors. It was at first. It was, because I came from Menards. I was a receiving department manager at Menards. So to come from a forklift to a mail truck was a lot. It was a big difference. And then again, with the interactions with people before were asking me about nails and boards. Now they're asking me about bills and packages.
Yeah.
So it's coming into this, I realized the more that I became personal with people, they would become personal with me. And I want people to know me because this is my life. I plan on dedicating a good 30, 40 years to this.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
So just from observation, you know, people, you know, is this person an extrovert? Are they an introvert? And so, like, just by listening to you and seeing your energy, it seems like you lend yourself to maybe having an extroverted personality. But I've learned that doesn't always hold true, right? So I've heard that it's what feeds your soul. Like, does downtime, solitary time fill you up? Or does the act of being with all these people fill you up? And so
because I've heard like similar, like if you're an introvert, your batteries are recharged by alone time.
Yeah.
Extrovert, you recharge your batteries by being surrounded by people.
Yeah. So what fuels you, man? Is it being with people and these interactions that you're dedicating your life to? Or do you also need a little alone time to kind of fill back up? You know what I mean?
It's a great question, Pastor. That's a really good question.
Maybe it's something to think about.
I've never had someone ever ask me that before.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest with you.
That's okay.
I drive. My drive is just, it keeps going. I don't stop. When I get off of work, I'm working out. I was running 5Ks last year.
Wow.
Yeah. I ran the Halloween hustle.
Oh, in Palatine?
Yep, the turkey trot. And then my favorite one so far I've done was the Santa hustle. We were downtown. That was cold.
Oh,
that was a cold run. Yeah, it was about 15 degrees in the lakefront.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know, I think because he just shared a story about running a 5K. A few years ago when I was in a little bit better shape, I did an 8K.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, you know, it was one of those things I was getting to the point where, like, if you're going to do a 5K, turn here to end. 8K, go this way. And I was like, should I just go this way and go to the 5K? Because I was like, it was killing me. And I was sore for the next few days. And he was sharing about doing his when we used to do a Bobcat Blitz here for the school, we did like a 5K.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, if we ever get this back up, we know, you know, to contact you, and you'll probably win.
Yeah.
No. I just, honestly, with those things, it's a competition against yourself. That's
right.
Again, back to your question, Pastor, that drive is what really refuels me.
Gotcha.
I don't stop. It doesn't stop. And again, with my wife being injured and being out, that's another fuel for me because I know what I have to do as a man to provide for my family.
Right. And, so it's like you need energy to love your wife and help her and come alongside her. And so like that's the important aspect. Like if you're depleting all your energy by the activity of your day, how do you build yourself up to do that? And it sounds like just the interactions is what's fueling you, man. And that's like keeping you going. And you're like this
Energizer bunny.
Yeah.
Guys, and it's funny that you say that. I never thought of it like that. I never had someone present that type of question. So you really got me thinking now. That's a mind thinker right there.
Yeah. Cool.
No, I was wondering because like the other week I felt really bad because like I live in Barrington and my mailman was delivering mail, and of course right before I noticed they were walking by, I let my dog out, and I was just like, oh, I'm so sorry, and like, nope, all right, we're good, we got no mail today.
Okay,
but is that like, how does that? Because they always talk about how they portray that in like TV or movies where like, oh, mailmen and dogs aren't a good combination.
Well, to be honest with you, it's 50-50.
Okay.
I have a lot of dogs I have a dog that's my girlfriend on my route. She loves me. She whimpers. She'll see me down the block and she starts whimpering. So our owner has to let her out because she's just banging at the door. And she comes right to me. Sits down, lets me pet her, and then goes right back inside.
Oh, how awesome and sweet. That's great.
And then I have a 75-pound Rottweiler. Ooh. I met when she was a baby because the owner was like, I really want you to meet my dog. I'm going to have a Rottweiler.
Yeah.
I want you to be friendly. And I said, thank you so much. That's like my best friend now.
Yes.
75-pound Rottweiler on her back and rubbing her tummy.
That's how you want the 75-pound Rottweiler to be rather than charging at you.
Yes. But I've definitely been bit.
Have you?
Definitely been bit.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's very traumatic.
I can imagine.
A lot of carriers, they like to give dogs treats. And I would say it's okay, but at the same time, what if someone else comes on the route that's not have treats?
Doesn't have the treat.
Now they expect it.
Yeah.
So 50-50.
It's a good.
But it was like I said, I just felt I'm like, I try to be mindful if I see the mail truck outside by my house. I'm like, okay, Madison, stay back. We won't let you out quite yet.
Yeah.
But then I just didn't notice it. And I'm just like, I feel so bad because the mailman was just walking right by.
Pastor, your dog's an angel.
She is pretty gentle, even though she's Shepherd Lab, but she's a gentle giant.
Yeah, she is. When I was growing up, I had a wired hair terrier. We called her Amber. And our house was a split level ranch. So you walk in the front door and you go up or you go down.
Okay.
So in the summer, my mom and dad had a screen, for the summer door. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
And the mailbox was right on the house. So like my dog, Amber, once the mailman took that turn on our street, we were like 4 houses in, she's running from bedroom to front window, and leaping to the front window ledge and just, waiting for the mailman to come. And then he comes right down our sidewalk and he starts walking up the steps. She flies down that stairway and leaps and bounding up and down, barking at him all the time. And we're like yelling at her. We're like, so sorry. The door is locked. Don't worry. And the mailman was always just really patient. He's like, oh, Amber, settle down, this and that.
Yep.
But we could not get her to like the mailman. Or I'll never forget this one time, the UPS man came and she was same. She didn't differentiate. So she had no favorites, right?
Okay.
So it was a new UPS guy, wasn't familiar with us, and she's flying down, jumping up, jumping up. And he got halfway up the outside steps, and he goes, I'm like, it's okay, and he goes, I'll just leave the package here. I go, do you need me to sign it? Oh, no, that's okay.
I got you.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, it's a good question about like just dogs in general
Well, I want to tell you, a lot of us carriers have a method to our madness with the delivery of homeowners that we know that the dog's just a little erratic, and it's okay. It's a dog, and they're there to protect your home.
Domain.
I understand that. Where every day I'm coming up and I go away. I come up, I go away. So when the dog barks, it's saying, hey, I did a great job. I'm going to do it again tomorrow because I know he's coming. And most of us are like clockwork. You see me here almost the same time every day.
right,
Besides if I have a lot of mail, that's what takes me time. I have to case it in. So
with your day being so regimented, do you find that your day is there a lot of variety in the day? Because I know you're staying on task, you're staying on schedule.
there is, but I like routine.
Okay.
I'm a very routine man.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I like stuff to be at a certain time, and sometimes we don't get that. You know, with you guys too, you know, the time just doesn't hit. So that's when you need to make correction.
Right.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
And I know just like me, you guys are definitely good at it.
Right. Sometimes you got to be flexible. Like
Yeah.
that's what I always
Right.
tell like the kids when we go on mission trips. I was like, we might have a plan once for what we get there, but it could all change.
In the blink of an eye.
Yeah, so you just got to be flexible and go with the flow.
Yep.
Kind of like you were talking about with the weather. You know,
Yep.
the weather here just changes it by the instant.
I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. That's not my favorite season.
Has your truck ever broke down? All right, don't
No.
answer that. Okay.
Yeah.
Praise the Lord. We'll keep that as a prayer.
Yes. Well, we're supposed to be getting new trucks soon. So all electric.
Okay.
They
All
kind of
right.
look like ducks.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just hoping that they're more versatile for what we do, because
Yeah.
the ones we got right now are from like 2000 and they're not really made for what we do, you know? So,
Well, they're 23 years old.
yeah.
Sounds like my van.
But I bet your van's in way better condition than my
I don't
truck.
know. Well, I don't know. It goes up and down the road. That's all I can say.
Well,
So,
that-
gets
that's
me to
the
here
key.
to there.
That's a plus, Pastor, right there.
You know, and I don't have to make the car payment, so that's good. But I was thinking, like, what was I thinking? Oh, what are some? I'll just use the word. What are some pet peeves of letter carriers by their customers? Like, you know, they haven't emptied their mailbox in 4 days.
Yeah.
Or they put up the red flag and there's nothing in there. Or, you know, that kind of thing. Are there any things that just drive you bananas?
Getting the mail emptied out of the box, because a lot of people, I know they go in, like you said, Pastor, they go in through the garage and they really don't look at the front door.
Yeah.
But you kind of got to empty that out so I can put the other mail in there for you.
Yeah.
Kind of like, I think of like when I go on like trips for this church, you know, I have to put my mail on hold.
Yep.
And then you get that huge pack, all that mail in a
bundle.
In a big bundle. Mm-hmm. And then there might not be enough room in that mailbox.
And see, that's when I would ring your doorbell.
Okay.
Or I'd wait till you come home. Most of the time, I'll come back because I get extra every day. I'm getting 2 to 4 hours of extra work every day.
Yeah.
So I'll finish my extra work and I'll go back onto the route. By that time, it's 8, 9 o'clock. You're most likely going to be home from the airport or your trip. So I'll just go and ring the doorbell. Most people are happy. Hey, thanks, Nick. You dropped it off. Like, for example, I have a customer. He owns a dentist on Plum Grove.
Okay.
And he got an express the other day, and they were closed on Saturday.
Okay.
Well, I know where he lives because I deliver mail all over Palatine, and I pay attention to the names.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's more to what our job is to do.
Right.
And I found out where he lives. So Saturday, it was maybe about 4:45, getting dark outside, and thought to myself, should I just go knock on his door and see if he wants this express? It looks pretty important. Looks like he may need it. So I went and rang his doorbell. He was extremely excited to see me. Nick, what are you doing here at my house? Hey, I said, hey, I got an express for you.
Yeah.
It's for your business, but I figured you might want it. It looks important. He's like, man, thank you so much. I
that's
greatly
over and
appreciate
above.
it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, the
awesome.
over and above there.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Well, I mean, I think that's how we all should be. I mean, we all have just a little bit of time in our day just to go do that little bit of extra.
Great lessons here, man.
And I was also wondering, like, have you seen any cultural shifts of like how the people are on over the like time that you've been a mail carrier?
Do you mean like my customers?
Yeah,
or?
customers, like the community, like Palatine community. Like, do you see a shift in like how outgoing people are or anything like that? I don't know if that's making sense.
Honestly, I would say it's more of the children that I notice a lot, because they're more of the ones that come up to me because they're always outside. They come
Yeah.
off the school bus. Hey, Mr. Nick, how you doing?
Yeah.
And I'll talk to all the kids. And I talk to their parents too to let them know, I try to involved in the community.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, with the kids, there's definitely a big culture shift because I see them go through the grades from first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and it really is. It's different from when I went to school.
Right.
Yeah,
we were writing cursive. Now they got iPads.
Right.
That's so true.
It is.
I failed cursive, actually.
Really?
Oh, yeah. The only thing I can do in cursive is my signature because I practiced it all the time because I thought, I'm going to be on the Cubs, so I better learn how to sign an autograph. Everything else is like some hodgepodge combination of printing and cursive.
I kind of do the same. Maybe it's a lefty thing.
It could be. Yeah.
PDubs. It's a chicken scratch, isn't it?
It's a chicken scratch.
Yeah, I knew it.
Yeah. So, but I do my best.
Good.
But, yeah. But I was wondering, like, PD talks about like cultural things and change. Did COVID change your interactions at all?
Big time.
Okay.
Big time. Before COVID, I really wasn't interacting with a lot of the customers. They were at work.
Oh, interesting.
A lot, because a lot of the times that I'm delivering mail is the times
They're
that
gone.
you guys are at work.
Right.
So trying to get any, like a signature for a certified letter or a package, sometimes that's hard.
Right.
So what I would do is leave the slip and then you sign it and come back the next day.
Yep, have had a few of those slips.
Yeah, because I think about my life. Like, I'm here a lot of times, so I see on my Ring doorbell, like, oh, somebody's at your front door. I'm like, oh, it's the mailman.
Yeah.
But I'm not usually there unless it's a Friday, typically.
Yeah. For me, I'm the same way. I mean, before I was a pastor, I was traveling a lot, so I really sometimes I would work at home, but like I can say that I never really got to know my mailman.
Okay.
When I'd see him, wave kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I later found, my wife was much better at this. She's like, oh yeah, our mailman's name is John, I'll just say. And like, he's been doing this for, 25 years. And I'm like, wow, like I got to be more observant, that kind of thing. But I think because my wife was around the house more with the kids, that those interactions played in and out. So,
and again, back to your question about COVID, that's what COVID did. It brought everybody home.
Yeah.
So when everyone was home, I took advantage of that time to get to know my people.
That was strategic.
Everyone's outside. It was nice. That first year of COVID, that summer, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
Especially with like how isolated people were in that you could be a part of that community that people weren't maybe getting because they weren't going into their office or wherever they might have been having this community.
I was the only interaction most of the people were having.
That's amazing.
Everything was shut down. I'm coming to your house every day. So I really got really close with a lot of people. And then another gentleman that I'm really close with on my route, he has his own business, an insurance agency, and I never saw him. I saw the two ladies that were up front in his office all the time. He would be in the back office and, hey, how's it going? But once COVID hit, everyone was gone out of his office except him. So he would come up, hey, let me talk to this mailman. Let me see who he is.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, just instant connection. Again, with everybody being off from COVID, that just brought us just so much closer.
I see an incredible gift in you that you initiate conversation. Like, you're observant and like you're kind of making sure that it's a good timing to approach, but I see you initiating and drawing it out of people, like, which is really great. I mean, because a lot of people, they're like, I'm busy. I'm too busy to even talk to my neighbor, let alone the letter carrier. You know what I mean? And you must have this gift that draws it out of people, which is really great.
It's a lot of practice. I've come from a very dark place in my life. I grew up very hard, very hard. It was just me and my mother. So to be where I'm at now is like night and day. So I take it, I pat myself on the back. You got to go in that cookie jar. You got to reach in and grab one of those cookies and remind yourself where you came from. And that again, that positivity, just going around to everybody and letting them know your life, being open about who you are, opens people up. If you're open about who you are as a person, that's more like, trying to find the word, guys.
It's kind of like, I think maybe what you were talking with me before PDubs came down here, like through the podcast, you got to know us a little bit more.
Yes.
Instead of just the, hey, how's it going, Nick, when you're in the office, but you get to hear our interests and likes. Like, I mean, even with you, I know because one of your tattoos is a Bulls one, right?
Yup.
You're a big Bulls fan.
Big Bulls fan. Yeah, I got a couple of Bulls tattoos.
And
Nice,
I was
dude.
kind of joking with him earlier. I was like, man, Patrick Williams yesterday, what was he thinking?
I know. I just saw the tail end of it, and I'm like, wow, they're going to pull this out. And boy, they didn't. And I was telling PD, like Kendall Gill at the post game, he's like, that's why they call this a game of inches. You know, like if Vooch would have just stepped up and got a little vertical on the guy who made the last shot, you know, that's the inches that goes a long way. He might have missed, you know. But if you don't, you're standing there when you're looking like, you know, this, that's the result you're going to get, you know. So, but yeah, we both love the Bulls. We love all sorts of sports in Chicago. So that's cool that you got some tattoos. And
Yes.
yeah, very cool.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
can't remember. Do you have a Bulls banner up in your mail truck?
1991 championship.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, man.
I'm a big Jordan fan. That's the Bulls era I really, really enjoy.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, that's the era I grew up in as a kid.
Same here.
I mean, that's why I think I still love basketball and the Bulls because of growing up being a 7 to 14-year-old during that era.
Oh man, see, I was young. I was young watching that. I was
Were you?
like 4 or 5 years old watching
man.
that. So
Yeah.
I can just imagine being 14. Oh,
But yeah, right, the last title.
yes. Oh man,
That was fun times.
good
It
times.
was a special
man.
time in Chicago sports life, you know.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, man, we had it good, didn't we? Now, not so good.
Not so much
Good.
anymore.
No,
Yeah.
no one's really talking about Chicago sports.
no, not at
well,
all.
besides the Bears might be moving to Arlington.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, man.
A lot easier to get there than Soldier Field.
Right.
Well, not only with that, my thinking is the aspect of the businesses that are going to come around with that.
Right.
Because even though they're going to be here, you're going to see a lot of building around in Arlington Heights,
Yes,
Rolling Meadows,
yes.
Palatine, all the surrounding towns and cities. They're going to be building up to support that.
Yeah. Well, man, as you talk, I think about, you know, us as pastors, we have a desire to reach out to people and like, I'm thinking you and I should sign up, you know, part-time
Mail
letter
carrier.
carriers. So like,
I don't know if I could carry the 30, 40 pounds.
Well,
on
I
me.
know. I'd have to ask for a lighter load, but
How about this? You carry the load, I'll be the walker.
okay. All right.
And then I'll come help you guys when I'm done with my route.
Yeah,
Okay,
man. That sounds good. That's a deal.
What you get done in 4 hours, it'll take us 2 days to probably get through.
Don't worry, I'll teach you guys some tips and tricks.
Thank
Okay.
you, man. Because, like, you know, our heart's desire is to get out into the community, get out with our people. And
Yes.
And so, like, when your career puts you there, that's like, we just sit there and like, wow, that's so cool. You know, like, so I can see that almost like that compassionate heart in you. Not almost, it's there.
Thank you.
And to reach out to people. So
Yes.
yeah, it's great to learn who are the people in your neighborhood, as they said on Sesame Street. I'm probably dating myself there.
It's okay. I was thinking, I was almost thinking Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood is what you were going with there.
No, won't you be my
Your
neighbor?
neighbor.
No. So there's a song on Sesame Street. Who are the people in your neighborhood? In your neighborhood? In your neighborhood? And you know, they talk about the postman is a person in your neighborhood, and then the grocer is the jewel,
The jewel, yeah.
the jewel
Jewels, yeah.
cashier.
But yeah, I
He
could
used to be a
see,
jewel
I was a
cashier.
jewel cashier throughout high school and
Okay.
college.
So, and that goes the people that you meet when you're walking down the street. They're the people that you meet each day, and so it fits right to this conversation.
Perfect.
So, yeah, man. Well, Nick, thanks so much for joining us today. It has really been a pleasure to, you know, get to know you better. And
Yeah. Thank you
our
guys for
audience as
having
well.
me.
Yeah, we loved having you on, and maybe you could be a recurring guest.
I'm always here, guys, 6 days a week.
Nice, man.
So thank you everybody for tuning in, and God's blessings.